Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is, Sinful Sunday already? Holy smokes, I can't believe this month is just a creeping by already. It is already the, 5th of the month? Geez. But anyways, before I roll into anything, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I do have an awful lot on my plate to review. Now, with all that said in mind, check out the description box. Today, I gave you a brief synopsis, which I actually wrote, which is why the synopsis is really terrible. But I actually wrote today's synopsis because today's film was considered lost at one point. All the master archival footage was lost, and thankfully it was restored and found, and I was able to review this gem of a film today. And it is, I gave you your starring cast, your director, your runtime of the cut. I am watching, along with a link for where, if you decide you can help support the channel. I'm sorry I don't have any links for any trailers or anywhere for where you can rent or watch or purchase this one yet, as it has not been released. As far as I know, it will be getting a release next alongside with the Naked Nazi. This is none other than the 2011 film known as Violated. It will be released hopefully this year, or if not, it will be sometime in 2024, I imagine. If so, I do highly recommend, if you are a huge fan of Jason Impey's films, you will like this. This is very gritty, very raw, very extreme. He does his normal good job of making you dislike a character more than anything in the world, because Conrad is such a arrogant asshole that you want to just reach into the screen yourself and just punch him in the mouth. That is how dislikable this character is. He is very aggressive towards women. He calls them horrible names. He treats them as though they are nothing but an object or below him or nothing less than dirt. He basically, what he does is he lures these girls in with false pretenses that they're going to be in a film, because Conrad himself thinks he is a filmmaker. All the while, you learn all throughout this that he is not a good person. All the way from the beginning of the movie, you can tell that this guy is not a good character, because you're opened up with a shot of both him and Jason arguing about how this is not filmmaking, as Conrad is showing Jason a bit of film footage and he disagrees with it, and he's like, this is going too far. We did not get into this to do that. Things of that nature, it's shows his character right away that he is no good. And then you're treated to him luring basically two helpless victims into a building that he is, I'm guessing, borrowing, because he has to jimmy open the lock and pry open the door. Right away should have been a red flag to these girls that something is not right, but yet they still follow him into the building, and they follow him upstairs to several places where he talks about, oh, we're going to film such and such here, but we're going to go upstairs and film the sexy stuff. And all the while, they're kind of like, oh, the sexy stuff, like not very keen or hip or wanting to do that, which I understand, because you're working with a guy you don't know, for one. For two, he just pried open a door to get into a building that you're filming in. kind of just red flags galore with this guy. He quickly kicks one of the girls out, calling her horrible names as she is going out the door. He even shoves her down to the ground. Just a real horrible bastard, you know. Like, you can't help but really hate Conrad. The fellow, I forget his name, that played him. He did a fantastic job, by the way. He did. I recognize him from the Hostages film that I reviewed for for Jason, also known as Terrorize. He played a police detective in that. That Terrorize is a very fantastic. It is a freaking masterpiece, in my opinion. This is a good film. It is not what I would call a masterpiece. There is nothing bad about it, but it is very just mean-spirited, classic Jason Impey torture, you know, because he really can build characters that in a way to make you like or dislike them, and he does such a good job at that you forget that you're watching a movie at points. You kind of feel like, oh yeah, I forgot I'm watching a movie. I'm not watching somebody's home video. Because you get so like sucked into it. Not that the quality is home video quality. It is actually extremely high production value. Considering the film was lost for 12 years, 11, 12 years, it's very relieving that the footage turned out as good as it did. Now, back onto Conrad's crimes. Conrad eventually kicks out the other girl after he gets her to do a little striptease, gets her down to her bra and panties. He eventually kicks her out because he tries to make a pass at her, touching her, and this is a ongoing thing because he's very aggressive about his tactics. He's very touchy. He talks about how they're so sexy and this and that, and things that he says is just so absurd that you would be like, this guy's not a professional filmmaker. What am I doing here, for one? For two, how do I get the hell out of here would be my next thing to be thinking of. Because he eventually lures in a third girl. The third girl played just superbly, by the way. I really liked her a lot. She did a fantastic job. He does things to her that are just, the first audition with her goes very well. He gets her to do a full-on striptease, get down to her birthday suit, and you know, you see everything, full frontal, and you also see the back door. But this is definitely a movie for grown-ups, much like every Jason Impey film is. But this one really is. Like, this one is so grimy, and he sends her away. Everything goes okay and great and fine with that one. Calls her back for a second audition, and this is when things go horribly awry with him. He's his usual aggressive self, very touchy-feely, gets, as a matter of fact, goes down to suck on her breast, and she freaks out, as any normal person would, I would imagine, especially if you're not expecting that when you're supposed to be in a professional environment. So it throws her off, and she freaks out. and then he in turn freaks out in retaliation and starts to beat the hell out of her. First he's doing nothing but scare tactic after scare tactic, and he's doing a very good job at it, because you can tell that the girl is scared beyond all means. He tapes her up to a chair, eventually does some dismantling of her, and it is very graphic and very just raw. Um, Granted, some of the effects are done off screen, and you see an after effect. The after effect is still very gnarly, very raw, very cool. Um, just for an example, I'm just gonna say that there is a whole thing that has to do with masturbation with a knife, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. It has a lot of mutilation going on, so it gets very gnarly when it does get down to the nitty gritty. Granted, this thing only runs at 45 minutes. It's not a long movie at all. It is a short film, a long short film, but it doesn't feel long at all. It goes by so fast that it almost felt like I wanted to watch it again, because it was just so done so well. But on to the three things that I like my films to meet. Granted that this film had been lost, like I said, for 12 years. Jason did a good job of recovering all the footage. The audio is very clean on this, considering it being lost. It does have a nice clean feel to it. It doesn't feel distorted in any places. I never had to rewind it and re-listen to what is being said. Everything was conveyed very well on audio. So I definitely I give it an A plus on audio, considering everything that it's gone through. Now on to dialogue. Dialogue is where the bread and butter is in this movie, in my opinion. The bread and butter of the dialogue is just so thick with just evil monologue after, or evil dialogue after evil dialogue from Conrad, that he just delivers it so well, and it's written so well that he is so believable as this character that you almost want to, like, I would love to talk to the fellow and know exactly how he is as a person, because I've seen him in this and in Terrorize, and in both movies he plays kind of an asshole character, very unlikable in both movies. Granted, Terrorize, he redeems himself towards the end, but in this he is a 100% villain from beginning to end, and it just makes you wonder what kind of a person he is, because he does such a good job portraying this character that it's so believable. It's so good. So the dialogue gets an A plus. On to editing. Editing is always smooth and clean with Jason's films. I never feel like he lingers on shots for too long. He never has any weird jump cuts in it. He never has any like continuity errors that I ever notice, as far as editing wise. He does a very good, meticulous job with it, and you can tell that this project, cleaning it up and restoring it and getting it out for a release, it definitely has some passion for him, and you can feel it, and so it gets an A plus there as well. So on to the 1 through 5, it's going to get a 4 out of 5. It is definitely one that I would like to have seen more of Jason's character. Jason's character comes in all throughout the movie, and he is secretly filming Conrad in the middle of all of this, so he has evidence to back up his story. But I really would have liked to have had more with him. The way his character is developed is very good. I think, for being a director, all around filmmaker, because he does editing, producing, writing, he does it all. He does a great job as an actor in front of the screen. He doesn't feel wooden or clunky like a lot of directors or just filmmakers in general do sometimes when they jump in front of that camera. So he does a good job in this. So I wanted more of his character. That's my only thing, my only critique that I really have to say. I wanted more of Jason, but I'm a huge fan of Jason. I think he's a great guy. I think his films are just masterfully done, and I look forward to whenever he sends me his next film. I am a huge fan and always look forward to it. I know he's got a lot in production right now. He's got like 9 films coming or something like that, or 7 films, something along those lines. He's got a lot of stuff on his slate, and he is a instructor towards future filmmakers. So he is a very busy man, and just recently was married. So congratulations on that, Jason. I wish you nothing but the best, and many years together of happiness together. So all that said in mind, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I got things to do. I hope all of you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, I love your faces, and peace.